Currently, we have about 1,800 photographs of the Lodz Ghetto. Of these, about 1,000 we copied from other archives. Approximately 800 are our own holdings. Of these, about 500 are a recent donation that we got of color material taken by Walter Gennewein. Gennewein joined the Nazi Party in either 1932 or 1938. They're conflicting documents. He was sent to Lodz to be the number 2 man in the ghetto, the one in charge of the financial dealings of the ghetto. He was also an amateur photographer. Gennewein's photos are different from other photographs that we have of the Lodz Ghetto. The first most obvious one is that they're in color. You see a color photograph of Lodz, you can be pretty sure that it was probably a Gennewein photo. These were taken as slides. Each slide is very clearly labeled. His subject matter focuses primarily on economic activity in the ghetto, different workshops, and also on the activities of the Nazi officials who were working within the ghetto. In addition, you can see some of daily life. You can see the market. There are other photographs also that are purely propagandistic that he labeled Jewish types. And they're photos that on one hand are close-ups of the Jews in the ghetto, but at the same time have a distance. You can see that these weren't people that he knew personally, that he was selecting because he thought they had an unusually characteristic Jewish face. The same people will appear in a number of 3 or 4 different slides. What's interesting about Lodz, as opposed to some of the other ghettos, is that the photographs were taken in approximately equal numbers, not exact, but both large collections of Jewish and non-Jewish Nazi photographers. The 2 most prominent Jewish photographers were Mendel Grossmann and Heinrich Ross. Mendel Grossmann himself was trained as an artist. He took many, many photographs of the Lodz Ghetto. Some of these were taken as part of his daily labor assignment. He was an official photographer of the ghetto, and so he did take workshop photographs, some of which were not that different in kind as the type that Gennewein took. However, he could show pictures that a stranger would not be able to take. One of Grossmann's most famous pictures is of his young nephew eating a piece of fruit, I think, desperate for something to eat, starving. You can see the intimacy with the people he was photographing. Gennewein's pictures are sanitized. He didn't want to show the true horrors of the ghetto. When Gennewein photographed the outdoor market, he showed it in the same vein that you or I might photograph an outdoor market if we were tourists on vacation. There's one picture where his boss, Hans Beboff, is shopping for a new tie. Very clean, very pretty, very picturesque. Do I get this tie or do I get that tie? Grossmann, on the other hand, when he photographed the market, you could see that people were selling off their last belongings in desperation to get money for food or fuel. What you had were people taking pictures of the same area but through different lenses, through different filters. The landscape is the same, the streets are the same, the bridge is the same. That doesn't change no matter who took the pictures. Within that, the people they chose to take pictures of is often different. Not always, but often different. So what we have to look at is not that one is reality and one is falsehood, but they're 2 parallel visions of reality. And when someone takes a picture, what you have to ask yourself is not only what are they taking a picture of, but what is it that they're choosing not to take a picture of? What are the parts that are missing? And only by comparing different photographs taken by different photographers can you begin to put together some of the pieces of this puzzle.